Pokemon is a cultural phenomenon that I did not have the opportunity to really engage in very much as a child. While I had a Game Boy during my childhood, I was not familiar with JRPGs or RPGs, so a game like Pokemon wasn't something I even knew to be excited for. I mostly bought the cheap games, so it wasn't until I was 26 years old that I began my very first Pokemon journey and subsequently fell in love with all of the Pocket Monsters in their world. I played Yellow, Ruby, Soul Silver, Platinum, Black, Black 2, and Pokemon X. I've also played through Let's Go Pikachu when it came out on the Switch. I've enjoyed all these Pokemon games, and like many, have found a few of my favorites that I really enjoy. However, during this time, I have also played through many Western and Japanese role-playing games and have completely fallen in love with what I now consider to be my favorite genre of game. So I sit in an impasse trying to really explain to you my feelings about Pokemon Shield on the Nintendo Switch, and I have, after much reflection, come to this conclusion. Pokemon Sword and Shield is, in my opinion, the best Pokemon game out there next to Heart Gold and Soul Silver. However, it is honestly one of the worst AAA RPGs on the Nintendo Switch at this time. Let's parse this out, shall we? The moment my trainer entered into his first gym battle and that epic music began, I was immediately hooked on the loop of finding new Pokemon, training them, and fighting in what I consider to be epic gym battles. If you've ever watched any of the Pokemon anime, you know that these gyms are incredibly intricate or unique battle arenas that are designed around the gym leader's particular specialty. I think back specifically to Pokemon X and Y anime where the gyms were larger than life and felt like a very unique experience. Pokemon Sword and Shield pulls this feeling off excellently. It's a football stadium filled with fans ready for you to battle it out with the hometown hero, the gym leader. The entire premise of the Pokemon League in Sword and Shield in the Galar region is the fact that you're basically starting a sports season of sorts where you travel to all of the gyms to get the badge, culminating in a playoff-style tournament to allow you to fight the champion of the previous seasons. The Galar region is a reflection of British culture and bringing in their love of football and curry to the Pokemon universe, and gym battles created some very satisfying moments. The gym leaders all have unique personalities and quirks that make them stand out from one another. The fact that they are also all vying for the position of champion was also a unique plot point. From the art to the writing, each of the gym leaders are very well put together and interesting. The fact that many of them were also involved in the overarching story of the game also made the world feel very cohesive and lived in. However, my favorite part about the stadium's gyms and their respective teams was this: the music and the battle in front of the crowd. The moment you step onto the pitch and are challenged, the intensity ramps up with an incredible battle theme complete with cheering crowds and plenty of taunts from your challenger. With every critical hit, the crowd oohs and ahs, and the leader throws out their final Pokemon, and everything ramps up even further. It's Gigantamax time! The idea of giant Pokemon is silly fun and actually creates for some interesting new ways to fight. Using super effective moves becomes increasingly important throughout this portion of the battle. You can lose your Gigantamax Pokemon easily to an opponent if you are at a disadvantage in type matching. The gym battles and some of the other boss battles are actually some of the most challenging parts of the game. Now, I never lost a gym battle because the game isn't that difficult, but I came close a couple of times. It honestly made me wish that the difficulty presented in gym and boss battles was there from basically the beginning in all of your trainer battles. I want these games to be harder. Can they not code into the game a champion mode, which gives tournament-style play difficulty? I surely wish that they'd make that a priority as the adults who enjoy the whimsy of this series continue to grow up, grow better at video games, and still want a challenge. The new Pokemon in Sword and Shield bring along with them the flavor of the Galar region and its British reflections. I particularly enjoyed the Galar form of Coughing, Ponyta, and of course Sirfetch'd. The remixed monsters, along with the other new creatures this entry in the series brought, are creative, or at least an interesting take on a real-world analog. I suppose at the end of the day, most of my complaints with Pokemon Sword and Shield actually do not derive from what it is, but instead from what it is not. While the wild area in Sword and Shield is a welcome addition to the typical routes the trainers live on, it's technically a mess. It looks like a high-resolution PlayStation 2 game and has an equally rough frame rate throughout that entire portion. You might say, well, Doc, at least we got something new. But when you compare it to other open world games that are running on the Switch, there's absolutely no excuse. The Witcher 3 on the Switch looks and runs better. The Final Fantasy X remaster looks and runs better. From Octopath Traveler to Xenoblade Chronicles 2, the Switch is capable of oh so much more. The other big complaint I have about the game comes down to the story and the way that it is presented. One of the things that annoyed me throughout the entire experience, and I don't want to spoil what there is, but there were some big climactic moments that were going on, but you were just pushed to continue going along with the gym challenge instead of engaging with some of the problems that were happening in the Galar region in the story. And I really, really disliked that. I didn't like the fact that there was no overarching bad guy. There was no unique dungeons or areas. You know, the OG Pokemon, Yellow, Red, and Blue had Silphco, the Team Rocket headquarters, big, elaborate caves and puzzles. This game does not have a lot of that, and it's really disappointing. I think at the end of the day, I am looking for a game with more depth and story and challenge than Pokemon can provide. I think it's solidly at number 2 in the top Pokemon games of all time, but I'm no longer in the right demographic for these games. This doesn't mean I won't play the next one, but I probably should temper my expectations just a bit, and perhaps until it's not $60. I feel like you can get better bang for your buck when you buy a game that's not Pokemon Sword and Shield if you're looking for a big, expansive, meaty role-playing game. Thank you so much for watching our review of Pokemon Sword and Shield. I would love it if you would join our Discord and let me know what you think. Leave a comment down below. You can find my links to my live streaming, and otherwise we'll see you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching.